The eighth station, Jesus meets the woman. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, for by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Out of all the 14 stations, this station tends to be the one that I typically forget about. However, upon reevaluating all the stations, the eighth station echoed heavily into my life. At this point, Jesus has endured a ton of pain and is heavily struggling to continue carrying his cross. However, most unexpectedly, he takes a moment to not only acknowledge his love for a woman and the accompanying children, but also blesses the woman. Even at the most difficult point in Jesus' life, he still took a moment to display how much he loves and cares for all those around him. I'm sure that most of us attending university have dealt with this conflict of adjusting to living away from home and being surrounded by unfamiliar faces. For my case, it really wasn't any different. In August of fall 2018, that cool afternoon was a moment that I thought that I would never be ready for. Furthermore, adjusting to the new academic flow added on to the mental stress. At times, I thought that I truly wouldn't be able to go through with college. Things changed, however, as I decided to join different campus ministry clubs, such as music ministry and the Bridge Bible Study Fellowship. The people I've met in these groups are some of the most genuine individuals I have ever gotten the chance to know. Their love and compassion towards everyone helped me to feel much more situated and confident at St. Ambrose. Unfortunately, there have and are still going to be moments when I get a feeling of homesickness or academics completely overwhelming me, to the point where I feel lost and in pain. However, through these struggles, coming to these clubs and laughing with the members of them helps me to remember that even when it seems like I will not be able to get by, I have people to talk with and show how much I appreciate them in guiding me through my college life. Who knows? Maybe they were having a terrible day while still acting cheerful, and I didn't even know about it. Jesus displaying love even at the most painful moments of his life, knowing that compassion will prevail over all else. And that is a message I want to take with me for the rest of my college years and even after.
The ninth station. Jesus falls the third time. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, for by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Jesus has fallen. He has gotten back up, fallen again, and even after help cannot carry his cross. Just as we fall, Jesus also falls. He was created true God and true man. The Son of God, the King of Kings, our Savior, has fallen. Throughout our lives we fall. Our falls may be our anxieties, mental illness, stress, addictions, our weaknesses. Sometimes we can pick ourselves up, and other times we need our Simon to help us. Other times we must be a Simon to those in need. We will continue to fall time and time again. It is okay to fall. It is okay to not be okay, but we must never give up. Just as Christ did, we must move forward. Some of us may take longer than others, but it is not a race. Let God be your strength. Rely on your faith, even when you feel like it is all you have. God is greater than your burdens. Give them to Him, and He will help you carry on.
The 10th station, Jesus is stripped of his clothes. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, for by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Jesus' dirty, blood-stained, and tattered garments are torn away from his body, reopening many wounds that had dried to the cloth. His cloak was the last thing of his that the soldiers deemed of worth, and began to play dice and place bids amongst each other for the fabrics. By stripping him of his clothes, the soldiers stripped Jesus of his dignity, and left him as an outcast to everyone present. Jesus' worth was taken, destroyed, and shattered by the very people he came to share his love with, because he let it be so. Like many others, I too am guilty of stripping the dignity of others at times. How often do we strip someone of their worth in our actions, thoughts, and words? Every time we gossip to defile someone's name, hurl insults at a friend, or think unclean thoughts about another, we strip a little bit of their dignity away by our own hand. What we can learn is that it is not only about doing what's right, but also about showing our love for Jesus by working to correct our shortfalls for his glory alone. Jesus, guide our hearts to protect those around us and help us lead a life following your example. Show us how to uphold one another even when we in our blindness struggle to see another's worth. Allow us to be an example for others on how to handle situations when our own dignity is stripped from us, just like you did. No one gives us a better model on how to shape our lives than you. And even though none of us are perfect, take our hand each step of the way to make this earthly life one of praise for your name, Jesus. We give ourselves to you fully. May we be extensions of your love.
We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, for by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. As I look back to previous Lenten seasons, one thing always jumps out to me. I complain frequently. I have found that in these times of whining, taking a step back and looking at Jesus' sacrifice opens my eyes to what this time is truly about. While his journey to Calvary was long, painful, and exhausting, the end was not met with cheers and joy. Instead, the worst was still to come. Nails were driven into his hands and feet without any sort of fighting from Jesus. He understood that his sacrifice was for us, and while he went through more pain and suffering than I could even comprehend, because of this, I have learned that I can do my best to make small sacrifices during Lent to draw me closer to him. Another thing that stands out to me is Jesus' suffering was caused by the soldiers and crowds chiming in until his death. This reminds me that whenever I hurt someone, I am like the soldiers or crowds. While I am not driving nails into someone's body, my actions are causing pain that is uncalled for. Lent shows me the power of forgiveness, much like the soldiers saw it after they nailed him to the cross. I must seek forgiveness for my actions and grow to recognize Jesus in every person.
The 12th station. Jesus dies on the cross. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, for by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. Lent is a time for reflection. Most may have been brought up to think that Lent was a sad time. Yes, in a way it is. To me, it's a time of reflection and preparation for the season to come. As Jesus died for us, we can use the Lenten season to die to ourselves, strip away the layers that keep us from God. Have no time to pray? Try and schedule 10 minutes every day to just sit in the chapel. Sometimes we need time to reflect on ourselves and to make time for God in our busy schedules. Go to confession. Get it all out in the open. The less keeping you from God, the better. Strip away the layers. Take time to reflect. What's keeping you from letting God in? Is it friends, parties, alcohol, stress? All he wants is for you to let him in, and he will heal the broken parts of you. He took all the pain and suffering of the world on his shoulders for you. Maybe instead of giving something up, do something more. For example, this Lent, I'm going to read the book Rediscover Jesus by Matthew Kelly, a chapter a day. There are resources and books to help you in your faith journey, and this book can especially be for Lent because it has 40 chapters. Grab a friend and dedicate a chunk of time to pray the rosary together, if not every day, maybe once a week. Find something more that you can do in every day. Make Lent a time for your relationship with God and self-reflection.